So I just have two slides. My name is Tong again. So this is me. And then our pediatric hematology oncology team is actually, as I mentioned before, is now relocated to the Hong Kong Children's Hospital. So in our team, actually, we are performing two kinds of research. One is clinical hematology, and the other is translational hematology, which is led by me. The clinical team is led by Professor Li Ziguang, and then Professor Alex Leung, our new member. And this is actually my team in the Hong Kong Children's Hospital. And then we now have one scientific officer, 4 postdoc, 4 RPG students, 4 research assistants, and I believe our team is actually still growing. And then actually, our team spirit is quite excellent. Okay, we have a very strong team spirit. Actually, every member in our team help each other. And then I always tell my students, you can not do a single project on your own. So get your help from team member. Okay, so our research interest is quite unique indeed. In Hong Kong, we are now in the clinical research. We are looking for new treatment protocols for the basically on how to improve the outcomes of childhood leukemia. And then we have very cutting edge research, chimeric antigen receptor T or CAR T cells, immunotherapy, which is a very hot topic nowadays. And we will be the first team in Hong Kong to introduce chimeric antigen receptor T cell for patients with refractory leukemia. So we are building a GMP lab in the CUHK campus. And then for hematology disease, we will have some hematopoietic stem cell transplant. I don't know whether those in Zoom have listened to my talk lectures in the School of Biomedical Science or School of Life Science. I deliver talks every year actually on the stem cell transplant arena. So we are finding ways how to improve the outcomes of stem cell transplant to make a cure to the patients. We also study the mechanism or genomics behind why patients are susceptible to chemotherapy, or some of them are having some toxicity. And for translational hematology, which is led by me, my personal interest is to develop new treatment for those patients who suffer from incurable leukemia. Okay, so the outcomes of childhood leukemia is quite good when compared to adults. Okay, approximately 60 to 70% of the children with leukemia can be cured by solely chemotherapy or hematopoietic stem cell transplant. But still, there are 30% of the cases suffer from resistant disease, which is incurable by standard treatment. So our lab actually developed multiple modalities, such as therapeutic antibodies. Like here, we are inventing some of the new antibodies that can completely remove the leukemia, at least in the animal model. Okay, and then we will have small molecule inhibitors. I can say in our team, there are very high diversity. I have chemists, I have computer scientists, and then I'm now planning maybe to recruit physicists and also engineer, and then how to make the research multidisciplinary to work on a single direction is to improve the outcomes of childhood leukemia. Okay, so we are developing new compounds, new small molecules, and then to test in animal models, and then push it into early phase clinical trials. We also, in the recent year, we have, as Choya mentioned, we have nowadays is the era of genomics. Okay, so we are performing for every new cases of leukemia. We perform RNA sequencing, exome sequencing, and also drug profiling for those patients who suffer from leukemia. So when a case comes to our lab, which is diagnosed with incurable leukemia, what my lab will perform is to do a comprehensive drug profiling for her or him, okay? And then inform the clinicians what types of treatment the patient may be benefit from. So a few years ago, we started this known as precision medicine, and then successfully cured 2 patients with incurable leukemia. So it's quite promising, and this makes why I'm still passionate on the hematology research. And recent year, we also touch a new topic to bring leukemia and immunology together, okay, by an accidental finding and find a new genes that may modulate the immune system against the leukemia. So we are doing immunology by single cell sequencing, single cell proteomics, something like this. So for my own expertise, when I did my PhD, I'm already getting very interested on hematopoietic stem cells, the blood stem cells, okay? So the blood stem cell, when a patient do a bone marrow transplant, you are transplanting your stem cells in the blood, and then you know the bone marrow will be the home of the stem cell to survive. So I'm particularly interested in how the stem cell travel from the blood to their home, okay? We identify a few genes that is important in this process and published in a very good journal, Blood, and recently Blood Advance, and on 2 genes that have a significant impact on this process. And why? And then we have, when we identify the pathway, how the stem cell travel back to the bone marrow, we can design strategies how to improve the process, okay? For example, when you transplant 10 stem cells, only 1 can reach the marrow, okay? For some of the stem cell source, like the umbilical cord, but you only have 100 milliliter, right? There are a limited number of stem cells. There's no way you can lose any stem cell when you do a transplant. So improving stem cell, when you get 10 transplant stem cells, 10 reach the marrow, then this cord will be very useful, even for adult, okay? So a single cord can only use for a patient less than 40 kilograms. But now, if you find a way, you can actually apply the umbilical cord to the adult patients, okay? So this is mainly the basic and translational research we are doing. And then tell you something on the uniqueness of our hematology oncology in Hong Kong, I can say. So in Hong Kong Children's Hospital, there are 2 very nice buildings. One is the clinical building, Tower B, okay? So the patients with cancers, with heart disease are situated here. And then we have a very nice research building, Tower A, which houses very cutting-edge machine, as I mentioned before, some of the very high parameter analysis machines. So we are the only team, I can say is the only team in Hong Kong dedicated to drive the research excellence in childhood leukemia. So we have exclusive patient recruitment, okay? We have 60 cases of new cases of leukemia per year. And when I start to do leukemia research, I have generated and stored all the viable patient specimens. And now the cohort has almost reached 500, okay? All the cells are preserved at a viable stage. They are viable cells. So when you have a research idea, when you become a student and have an idea, you can retrieve the samples and then answer the research question. This is the importance of biobank. This is the importance of clinical research, okay? So clinical trial readiness. So we have a very renowned doctors, led by Professor C.K. Lee and Alex Leung. When something happens in the research flow, we can very easily translate to the benefit of the patient. So translation research from basic to the clinical. And then we have cutting edge research facility. And then the clinical team and research team actually works very closely together. The clinical team will reason some clinical needs. They will provide us patient data, the outcomes. They can provide biopsies, very important, right? They can do clinical trials. While when they have the clinical question, the research question, our research team actually perform some preclinical research using animal models or some patient-derived xenograft model. And then we have inventions, new antibodies, new inhibitors, and then we publish in good journals. I can say it's a leading journals in the hematology field, okay? Blood, leukemia, etc. And we have a very close connection with companies in the science part, okay? We actually we have in recent year we have connected with 3 biotech companies in the science part. They also happy with our platform to test their drugs only for new indication in leukemia. Okay, so commercialization of our own research and bring in new treatment to the clinical team to perform clinical trial it is actually work on a cycle. Okay, keeping on research, dedicated in research, and you will find something to help the patients. And then maybe this is my short introduction. So if you are interested in hematology research for clinical, please contact Dr. Alex Leung by this email. Okay, alexwkleung@chk.edu.hk. So remember that. Or you will like basic or translation research, just contact me, ktleung@chk.edu.hk. So another mention is that we have very strong collaborators around the world. In China, we have connected with Shanghai Medical Center and the Sun Yat-sen Hospital. And then in UK, we have get connected with Birmingham Youth Hospital. In USA, we have a good collaborator in St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So our wish is to send our students to learn not only from the lab, okay, but overseas to learn cutting edge research. So we train the next generation scientists. Okay, so thank you.